What's up everybody, and welcome to another edition of AGR's Pop Culture Reviews. Now, I don't know how it all started for you guys, but my obsession with the X-Men came one Saturday morning when I saw that awesome 80s cartoon. Now, this figure is particularly special for me, as if you recall in the animated series, the first mutant that we're introduced to is Jubilee. Now, all these years later, I still don't know if it was the intention of the producers to purposefully introduce us to Jubilee, but she became instantly relatable. I mean, if you really think about it, intentional or not, it was a brilliant marketing strategy. An awkward teenager who feels like she's misunderstood by her parents and then suddenly discovers that she has mutant abilities, that's marketing gold. If that wasn't cool enough, in the very first episode when Jubilee gets in trouble and is being hunted down by the Sentinels, she gets helped by Storm, Rogue, and the leader of the X-Men, Cyclops. That's freaking awesome. X-Men the Animated Series was a truly remarkable show, and in my opinion, really ahead of its time. I mean, this show really broke with the conventions of traditional Saturday morning cartoons. To its credit, the show dove headlong into dark and complex themes. Among them, racism, xenophobia, the burden of being a mutant, and the fact that you're persecuted for being different in general. Needless to say, X-Men the Animated Series was a truly remarkable show, and I hope one day animated series will go back to that level of complexity. Okay, getting back on track now. Having said all that, today we're going to be taking a look at Kotobukiya's Bishoujo statue of Jubilee. Now, you guys know this already, and I've been reviewing these statues a lot, and every time I see the head sculpt, I am truly blown away. In this particular case, I absolutely love the way her head is tilted and leaning forward slightly, giving you that amazing little smirk, very in line with the character. The application of her paint was done just right, and I think I commented on the last Bishoujo statue, they didn't overdo it with the makeup. I'm also very impressed with the way they sculpted her hair so that it covers her face just slightly. Jubilee's jacket is truly remarkable. The way they sculpted her jacket truly makes it look like it's blowing in the wind. Really nice touch. The application of her paint is spotless. I didn't see any blemishes at all. And I also like the fact that they did it in a high gloss, simulating, again, the wet leather look. I'm also really pleased that they went with a really bright yellow, because it contrasts really well against the rest of her outfit. Very impressive. Similar to Jubilee's jacket, the attention to detail in her top is truly uncanny. The folds in her top give that extra sense of realism, and if you'll notice closely, they sculpted her top in a manner that you can see the musculature just underneath her abdominal muscles. That's very impressive. They also did a really great job in her midsection, particularly with the flesh tones and the shading. Finally, her top was sealed in a matte finish, and it contrasts really well against the X-Men insignia. For me, one of the more interesting aspects of this statue, and what makes it really unique, is her gloves. I love that great contrast between the silver around her bracelet and the rings she has around her arms. It gives it another sense of 3-dimension. Really well done. And this kind of goes without saying, the sculpt of her fingers and their position looks really awesome. She looks like she's about to light something up. The attention to detail continues down into her jean shorts. I really love the blue that they used here. Again, the fact that they went with a matte finish was a great idea. It really simulates the look of denim very well. Equally impressive is the paint application on the small buttons of her jeans. These little touches just add to the realism of this piece. I'm really impressed with the differing layers of textures here. The matte finish of her shorts, the high gloss finish of her belt, and the gunmetal finish of her belt buckle really make this statue pop out. As I mentioned before, the paint application of the flesh tones were done really well. But what really blew me away about the statue was definitely in her stance, particularly in the sculpt of her legs. Look at how powerful they look, particularly in her quad muscles. It's absolutely amazing. This level of detail just adds to the tremendous presence that this piece really has. Similar to the Sakura statue, I'm also very impressed at the way they made her sneakers. Again, similar to the Sakura statue, the level of detail here is amazing. The shoelaces in particular look great. The sneakers in this figure are also sealed in a matte finish, just adding to the realism. Now, Jubilee does come with 2 accessories. Kotobukiya was kind enough to provide 2 styles of sunglasses. The first style is rectangular and a little more traditional with the animated series. The second style is a little more modern and round, and it's actually more in line with the box art that you see on the packaging. I think it was pretty cool of Kotobukiya to allow us to have a personal preference on how we want to display her. Fortunately, they're really easy to swap out. There are 2 grooves on each side of Jubilee's head that makes this process very simple. Now, unlike the other statues that I've reviewed, this one doesn't come with any inlays, but honestly it really doesn't need them. Fortunately, the surface of this base is extremely reflective. I'm not quite sure if it's coming up on camera, but if you'll notice, there are little specks of gold that have been painted onto the base. Now it's really cool because when the light catches it just right, it actually looks like it's glittering. Trust me, you have to see the way it looks in person to get the full effect. Really great touch. Overall, this is a very impressive piece and easily one of my favorite Bishoujo statues so far. I have to say, Kotobukiya continues to impress me with this line. Before I go, I have to give a special shout out to Steve, aka Mr. Roboto, for sending this piece over for the purposes of this review. Alright everybody, so that's my official review on Kotobukiya's Bishoujo statue of Jubilee. As always, I thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next AGR's Pop Culture Reviews.